Thanks to all of our sponsors for making our Computex 2024 coverage possible.
Hey guys, we're here with Antec at Computex 2024 and we're looking at some of their new cases. This is the C8 Curve. So we all know what the C8 is about, part of the kind of new lineup from Antec, and they've really stepped up their game with this. So as you can see, as the name suggests, we've got this lovely curve on there, one piece of glass. And I'm just going to sort of talk through exactly what the case is about. Now, in terms of sort of motherboard support, I'm actually going to open this up and sort of give you a better idea as to kind of what the motherboard support is, what the fan support is, radiators and so forth. And it's actually really, really easy to open up. So we've got the top panel, which has got lots of ventilation. There's literally a little groove at the back. You get your fingers in there and you pull the whole thing off. There's actually no other restriction other than the holes that are actually in the metal. So you're getting kind of, sheer mass amounts of airflow going straight in. And you can see exactly where the radiator is at the top. This has got a custom loop in there. You could do an AIO, or you could just put straight fans in there. And you can see there's support for various different size fans. Now, there is one tiny little screw here, which we're going to use our handy dandy Antec screwdriver to open. If we take this tiny little screw out, what we can do then is get the glass, we can push it towards the front, and then it comes off. And this is the construction of it. And you can see it is very, very solid. This isn't going to break. It's not going to flex. It's extremely solid. And this gives us a full view as to what we're dealing with inside. So for motherboard support, you can actually see, I want to do this without, putting my hand in one of the fans. We can see we've got the grommets there. It will actually support up to eTeknix. In terms of radiator support, it gets really, really interesting. Because we've got a 360 at the top. You could put a 360 down the side, which does act as an intake coming from the side, and then one at the bottom. Now, you could, in theory, depending on the radiators that you're using and the orientation as to where you're actually going to have your tubing runs, you could potentially actually get 3 in at the same time. But what they've done here is got a radiator at the bottom, one at the top, and then just 3 fans at the side. And you can see they've also got a distro plate in here as well. Really, really nice looking system. Now, part of the C8 Curve is they want you to have kind of full flexibility over what you do with the system. So are you going to have mass amounts of fans? Are you going to have AIOs? Are you going to go custom loop? So it comes with no fans. And the beauty of that is that they actually managed to keep the price very, very aggressive. So we're looking at about 129 US dollars, around 120 pounds. So really, really nice with that. Now, one thing I do want to show you beyond that is also, along with the motherboard, it does support BTF motherboards. So we'll be able to look on the other side, but we'll show you exactly kind of how that looks in terms of where the connectors can actually go into the back of the motherboard. There's also a bracket down here, and if we actually come around this side, you can see the plate that's screwed in. So what they actually give you inside the box is the plate, which basically enables you to fit 120mm fans, but also in the box is another bracket for 140mm fans. Or if you decide to use no bracket whatsoever, you can fit 160mm fans. And the really cool thing about this, and like I say, this is all about airflow, I can feel the air coming out of this, is if we take this dust filter out, which is, very nice nylon dust filter, there's actually no other restrictions here whatsoever. So you are getting, again, mass amounts of airflow. And obviously you guys, you can't sort of feel it or anything on video, but there is a lot of air coming out of this system. Now, the other thing I actually want to show you is around the back of the case, because it gets even more interesting. What we find around the back of the case, and this is heavy because it has got a full custom loop in there, but if I turn this round and take this back panel off, then what it allows you to see is we have a sled up here for SSDs. We also have a hard drive caddy down here, but this can be removed and another SSD sled can be put in. We've got room for our power supply. But what's really interesting is this bar here. Not only does it kind of, keep it in different compartments so everything on this side, all your cables and everything is nice and tidy, but it actually allows airflow to be directed straight through the fans or the radiator or whatever you decide to put here, because it's at this angle. So airflow is actually going to be brought in. It's not going over these components, which maybe don't necessarily need any airflow, and instead is going directly to the fans and going directly to the system. And there's quite a lot of room here that you could put fans on this side, fans on that side, radiator. It just gives you a few more options in the fact that it is actually recessed. So this is the C8 Curve. You can also see there is this nice wooden panel on here. They have told us that There is going to be a wooden version. There's also going to be just a steel version, so it will match in with the rest of the case with the kind of black design. But there is also going to be a white version as well. So yeah, this should be coming very, very soon. I think they said and we will put it onto the video. I think they said around September time, but you know, we'll put that into the video so you guys know exactly what's going on. But really, really nice case. But they've got one more case that I'm really excited about. So let's go over there. So this is the other case that I actually want to talk about, and this is the Flux Pro. Now, you may know about the Flux range. There was quite a few different models on it, and what Antec have actually done there is condensed things down. So we have the Flux Pro and then the Flux, and we will show you both of these. Now, this is the Flux Pro. You can see that there is wood on the front of here, mass amounts of airflow. So they're still sticking with that whole flow, luxury, and you know, that's a testament to, I guess, the Flux range anyway, because this comes with, well, quite a lot of fans as standard. I believe this actually comes with 6 fans. The non-Pro comes with 5, and it is a little bit smaller. And like I say, I will show you that as well. Now, when it does come to sort of airflow and what's actually available on the Flux Pro, you can see on the top here, we have got huge amounts of airflow, and straight away I can feel how much airflow is actually being kind of pushed out of this case. There's also airflow all on the front. There's a lot of airflow on the side as well down here, where kind of your Pierce shoe shroud essentially is. But there's a really interesting feature with this, and it's right here. It's not actually on at the moment because there is no operating system on this system, but this is a little LED readout. So you're going to be able to view your CPU temperature, your GPU temperature, and it connects via a USB 2.0 internal header. So nice and easy. Now, I want to take this apart just to kind of show you what we're dealing with. If I take this off, it gives you a view as to kind of what's going on inside, and you can actually see that, well, this panel here is completely separate to the rest of the top of the case. So you can actually, if I remove the side panel, you can see that there's a screw over here, and then there's another screw over the other side. And what that allows you to do is take out this whole panel, which is going to make, obviously, installation of radiators much, much simpler. Now, speaking of radiators, you can see that there is a 360 in there at the moment, but it will accept up to a 420mm, as well as in the front. Now, you should be able to fit both concurrently, one in the front, one in the top, but obviously that's going to come down to the radiator and the size of it with the bulkhead and everything as part of the radiator. Now, we've also got this panel down the bottom. Now, very much like the top, you can actually remove this as one whole panel, you can see along here, or you can actually remove these individual plates. This allows you to put 1 fan in, 2 fans in, 3 fans in, and obviously Antec do make their own reverse fans, which is going to make things really, really easy when it comes to that. Now, in terms of motherboard support, we have got eTeknix. So no problem, no restrictions there, and it's kind of a theme, I guess, with a Flux Pro that you're not getting these restrictions of airflow or compatibility, and you can see they've actually managed to fit quite a lot in here with this distro plate and full custom loop setup. Now, another interesting thing is this case was actually sort of in the early stages of development before BTF became a thing. So the Flux Pro doesn't support BTF, but the normal Flux actually does. So slightly smaller, and we will go over there and have a look at them. But there are some other really interesting things with this case, which is on the other side. So if I go around there, and if I'm very careful, because this is very heavy, having a custom loop in there, but if I take this off, you can actually see, and this is where things get really, really interesting, we have got our controller hub up here. So this has got 5 ports for ARGB and then the PWM, but that's not the most interesting thing. What is just down here. Can you see it yet? This is a power supply that has literally been shifted sideways. So even though the power actually comes in through the back, the power supply doesn't actually start for maybe a good inch or so. So what you're actually finding is they've managed to turn the power supply. So without mentioning any names, we know there is a brand of power supply from a different manufacturer on the market that does actually sit shifted, and the clue there is the word shifted. They've kind of done it for you. So you don't need to go out and buy this specific power supply to use in a case like this. You can use any power supply, and it's shifted round, and the connectors actually come out the side instead of out the back, out of the towards the front of the case. Now, if we go over to here, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that. So this is the exact same case in white, but you can see when the power supply's in, and you can get a better view now without the cables and everything. This is how it looks. You've also got your hard drive cages and everything down here. Obviously this can be sort of pushed along either side or can be removed. You get tons of kind of room and space for cable management with the sort of tie downs and everything, even up here for your EPS connectors. We've got hard drive cages here. Obviously these can be removed if you do need any more room for kind of cable management and things like that. But this gives you a real kind of general idea as to what is possible. So this is what it looks like with the fans on that bottom panel. So yeah, really, really nice case. Looks really, really nice in white. And you will notice with the white that while it does have wood, the wood is actually a slightly lighter, slightly different color. Now, I did say that there was a non-pro version, which is slightly smaller, and this is it in black. So you can see what I was talking about with the BTF connectors. We've got a lot more cutouts on this one in comparison to the Flux Pro. But upon speaking to Antec, they did state that cases moving forward, obviously they will try and support BTF form factor as much as physically possible. Again, we've got space to put fans on here, plenty of rad space as well. There are some differences in terms of, the panels that can be removed or can't be removed in comparison to the Flux Pro, but still overall a very nice looking case in black with the darker wood, and then they've got the white one as well. So yeah, really, really nice cases, and again the lighter wood to match in and tie in with the white. So these are the Flux, and then behind you can see we've got the Flux Pro, which is the bigger version. Now in terms of the pricing, if I haven't already said it, on the Flux we're going to be looking at £160 or $170. Like I say, that is with 6 fans. The smaller versions, which is the normal Flux, the non-Pro, £90 or $100, and they're going to come with 5 fans instead of 6. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I feel like you're getting a lot of case for your money, included with the fans and everything, and I think this is a step in the right direction. Instead of having lots of different products within the Flux range, just make it simple. Flux, Flux Pro, black or white. What one will you go for? There we have it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, you know exactly what to do. And remember, we've got a lot more Computex coverage from here in Taipei, so be sure to check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.